Once a GST practitioner gets enrolled with the GST portal, he or she can be engaged by registered taxpayers and perform various GST-related activities for them. This video will show you how a GST practitioner can accept and reject the engagement requests made by taxpayers in GST Portal. The process starts when a taxpayer identifies a GST practitioner and sends him an engagement request through the GST Portal. The GST practitioner then logs in to the GST Portal and either accepts or rejects the request based on whether or not he is interested in doing business with that taxpayer. In this example, let's assume that a GST practitioner has received engagement requests from 2 taxpayers and they both are waiting for the practitioner's action. As a GST practitioner, you need to log in to the GST portal and reach the home screen as displayed. The List of Taxpayers button displays a list of your customers with whom you have already engaged. To view the new engagement requests and to take actions, click the Accept or Reject Taxpayer button. The requests will get displayed in a table specifying the date on which taxpayer submitted the request, followed by the taxpayer's GSTIN or UIN, their legal name of business, center and state jurisdictions, mailing address, registered mobile number, and a link to open the request for action. You can view this list from the dashboard screen also. Just go to the dashboard to see the same engagement requests listed with minimal details and a link to open each request for taking action. Once the GST practitioner accepts a request, the taxpayer becomes the practitioner's client and gets added under the Taxpayers Engaged section. Notice that my engaged taxpayers are currently showing as 0 since I haven't engaged with any taxpayer yet. Let's go ahead and click the View link to open my first request. The engagement request opens, specifying the form description on the top and the taxpayer's authorization, allowing GST practitioner to do certain activities on his behalf. Each of these activities have corresponding checkboxes. A taxpayer can ideally select individual activities that he wants the GST practitioner to do on his behalf. However, the current functionality of GST Portal doesn't allow choosing individual activities and the engagement is done for all of the listed activities. However, the customization feature might become available in the future. After reviewing the taxpayer's details and requested activities, if the GST practitioner wants to accept the engagement request, they need to check the consent box in Part B of the form. This will activate the Submit with EVC and Submit with DSC buttons. Notice that the Reject button is active by default. However, on selecting the checkbox, the Reject button gets disabled and the 2 Submit buttons become active. For the purpose of this demonstration, let's go ahead and accept this request using the EVC option. The GST portal will send an OTP to your registered email ID and mobile phone number. Both these OTPs will be the same, so you can enter it here when received and click the Validate OTP button to accept the request. The system will display a success message indicating that the request was successfully accepted. Next, the GST portal sends an acknowledgement to the taxpayer and to the jurisdictional officer of the taxpayer to inform them about the engagement. Notice that my screen now shows only one request as pending for action. To process this request also, click its View link and you will find the similar engagement form opening up again. Once you've reviewed the details, just scroll down and decide whether you want to accept or reject the request. For the purpose of this demonstration, let's go ahead and reject this request now. To do that, do not check the consent box and just click the Reject button, which is already active by default. Click Proceed. The system will display a success message indicating that the request was successfully rejected. Also, notice that there are no more requests pending in my queue for action. Now, if we go back to the dashboard, it will show 0 requests as pending and 1 taxpayer as engaged with the taxpayer's legal name of business and GSTIN or UIN listed below. Once the engagement request is accepted, the taxpayer also gets added to the GST Practitioner's list of clients. To view the complete list of your clients, open the Services menu. Click User Services and select the List of Taxpayers option. The complete list of your engaged taxpayers in the GST portal will open with their respective GSTIN or UIN along with some basic details and a link to remove or disengage the taxpayer. In case a GST practitioner has long list of clients, the search feature makes it easier to find a specific taxpayer based on their GSTIN or UIN and the legal name of business. Clicking the taxpayer's GSTIN or UIN will take the GST practitioner to the taxpayer's profile page from where he can use the menus above and have limited access to navigate through various sections for performing the required tasks. When the taxpayer logs in, he can also see the engaged GST practitioner's name listed in his My Profile section. On the My Profile screen, if taxpayer opens the Contacts section, he will see the engaged GST practitioner listed there. It's that simple.